is the blend modes, opacity, and masks that are built into the process history window. So let's open up the process history window. Now in version 5, this really becomes a layered image stack where every time you apply a filter, it tracks the filter like it has always done in previous versions, but also has a blend mode option, an opacity option, and a mask option. Now I've just opened this image, so the operation says read. To enable blend, opacity, and mask, you first have to apply one of the smoothing, sharpening, color, or deconvolution filters. So let's just use a simple micro curve. And suppose I want to brighten M76. So I'll increase the curve. And it does make M76 brighter, but the background also becomes brighter. In fact, the whole image is brightened. And notice now that blend mode normal, which means replace the previous layer or image, the read version, with the micro curves changed version, 100%, because opacity is set to 100%. Perhaps I want to change the blend mode to some of the contrast increasing ones like screen. And see, that makes it even brighter. But then to blend this micro curve screen mode in with the previous one, I can set the opacity down, and that helps control the background brightness. See, this opacity mixes the current image with the previous image by basically doing a weighted average, and then you can change the blend mode to any of these values that would make sense. And you can also apply, if you want, a mask. Now a mask would help me isolate the brightness increase to just M76 and not affect the background. So let's press the mask button. This is the default control point mask. It's all white with 16 red control points, and with a mask, white mask areas show the effect of the current filter and block the previous image. Areas where the mask is black show the previous image and block the filtered version, and gray areas mix the two. Now I just want to make M76 brighter and not affect the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the mask level to black, which totally blocks micro curves, and then I'm going to make just the center of the mask whiter so that micro curves just applies to the center of the image. Okay, I want to move these 4 control points as a group. See, right now they're set up to move separately. You can pull in and out to make it white or black, or you can shift and move it sideways to move the white or black area around a little bit. But I want to move the center as a group, so I'll do 4 centers, and then I'll just pick any one of them and pull it out to make the center of the mask brighter, and that will control. See, when I bring that out, that controls where the mask is applied. The whiter areas of the mask take more of the micro curve filtered image and then blend it into the underlying image, which is the read version. And since the mask is black in the outer regions, I'm really getting a mix of no change to the outer areas and micro curve applied to the center region. And then you can use this use mask so you can watch the difference up here. And then of course you can go in and adjust micro curves more and come back over here and make this brighter. Hold the shift key down and move this whole region around a little bit. And this mask area looks checkered because I'm recording this in 16-bit to keep the size of the video down. It's really a smooth surface. That's one way to use a mask, but in this particular example it's not really the best way to do it. This kind of a control point mask is real handy if like you have a corner that's too black or too dark or too white, and you can come over and just adjust things as separate points and pull that corner up or down to change its brightness. Let's look at an image mask. I'm going to make an a luminance mask. Shrink it down to 50% for display, and then I'm going to save it. And I'm going to close it because now I have it saved, and then I'm going to go over here and right click and paste it. And see, now I have a mask that's really tailored to M76. The white mask areas allow me to that's where microcurves is applied, and the black areas there's very little microcurves. Well, now at this point you can display that mask. Let's go back down to 50% display, and maybe I don't want to affect a couple of the stars. Well, you can use the painting and get that effect size up a little bit and get rid of some stars. Now when you save that mask, that particular star won't be affected. You could use the blur option here to blur that in a little bit. Perhaps you don't want to change the center of M76 as much. Okay, well, let's make it darker by, let's say, 5,000 pixels, and then paint an area in there to darken it. And it takes time to do this. I'm trying to do it quickly to keep the size of this down. And once you have your mask painted, you could use smoothing tool to smooth it out a little bit, and maybe even use microcurve on the mask to make the brighter parts brighter or darker, and adjust things further. You can make a star mask to get rid of these stars. There's all sorts of possibilities. But let's suppose this is our edited mask. Now we save it, and the edit then comes in as the current mask, and now it's being applied to this image, and I can really zero in on M76 and not affect the dark background at all. And of course you can go in and modify microcurves. You can change the mask. You could edit it again using display mask. You could change the blend mode, different opacity. All sorts of things are possible here. And then the next filter you apply, a sharpening perhaps, it starts all over. When you apply this, you now have, let's close that. You now have the default normal blend mode, 100% opacity, and a mask assigned to it, and you can either choose to alter these values or use the min-max apply luminance range on the sharpening tool. And that's basically how the mask layers with blend modes and opacity work in the process history window when you're using these masks and layers applied to the same image.